Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the SAMR model, and this is for ET 520, and this would be the Curriculum Integration and Development. Different examples, what you're going to see in this is different examples on how to use the SAMR model in your classroom for math, science, and even going beyond. Quickly, what is the SAMR model? I know we've discussed this, but for presenting this for my teachers or my faculty, I'll go beyond and tell you a little bit more. The SAMR model is a model created by Dr. Ruben Puentedera and is designed to help educators infuse technology into teaching and learning. And then as to the right you can see the Venn diagram that shows the technology, pedagogy of course, and then content knowledge, and where you're looking to hit is directly in the middle. They call that the TPAC. How the SAMR model works, of course SAMR being an acronym, I really like this little picture that kind of describes where some people are at, where others are at, and where you'd like to be. You can see on the left it starts, and believe it or not, there are still people that do not use technology in the classroom, but it also shows the steps along the way. Beginning with S, substitution. Technology acts as a direct tool substitute with no functional change, meaning you're really just substituting something that you would do with technology or without technology with technology. Augmentation, again in the very first two steps, just enhancing. Augmentation, technology acts as a direct tool substitute with functional improvement. And then the steps that you see that you really are aiming for would be transformation. You're moving down and down and down deeper as you keep going. Modification, technology allows for significant task redesign. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we continue on. I'm going to give you a few examples. And then finally what you're getting at is redefinition, which would be technology allowing for the creation of new tasks that were previously inconceivable or not around, and now technology has given you the opportunity. My first example that I'm going to discuss, I'm going to kind of show you how this works and how to dig deeper into it. I'm going to discuss an example in math and how to begin. I teach 5th grade. We use the Saxon math, and basically any lesson can be applied, but I'm going to show you how to kind of dig into just one particular lesson. Because I teach in Michigan, I threw up the Michigan Department of Education standards that I'm going to be using, and then I'll show you lesson 9. I just randomly picked a lesson. And lesson 9 is, in Saxon, is practicing the subtraction algorithm. And I'm going to kind of show you how this can work through the SAMR model. SAMR, of course, starting with S, substitution, meaning technology acts as a direct tool substitute with no functional change. And in this lesson, lesson 9, it says students can access, just one way that this works, students can access their math book now on a Chromebook. The material is still exactly the same from what they would see in their paper book, but they can access it anywhere without having to lug around that book in a heavy backpack. So in reality, you're taking the same material, same book, same paper, you're just putting it on to a Chromebook so they can access it at home, they can access it even in the classroom, they can access it anywhere. In that same example, as you're moving along, it says the same math lesson can be augmented by adding additional worksheets or reteaching or advanced worksheets. So students that need to look at a concept that they were struggling with or couldn't understand, or even the ones that are advanced and have moved on, all of those samples can be found on Gradebook Wizard. At our school we use Gradebook Wizard, which is very similar to Blackboard. But on there, there are how-to videos, and there are ways that they can download or print off sheets off of Gradebook Wizard. So in this case, augmentation, the technology acts as a direct tool substitute and there's definitely some functional improvement. With the same example, moving along, so we had S, we had A, we're at M. It says the same math lesson on the subtraction algorithm can then be modified. First, students can quickly be assessed by using Kahoot as a quick response for feedback. Students in my fifth grade class love using Kahoot. And it also can give us quick feedback, but it says students can then work individually or be put into groups and can create their own how-to videos using WeVideos. So in this case, the students are creating their own videos on what they learned from Lesson 9 and practicing the subtraction algorithm. And the technology allows for them to redesign and create their own videos, and for them to, well, I'll show you as we get into the next step, but for them to create and show you what they've learned. The last step, of course, redefinition. This same math lesson has now been redefined. Students take their WeVideos and they can share them in Google Classroom. Technology has essentially transformed the assignment, and students have created a product of what they have learned and now have the opportunity to share that either with the class or with anyone that they want to share it with. So technology in this case has now allowed for the creation of a completely new task that was previously inconceivable. I just wanted to put in an important notification that before I begin other examples, it is important for you to realize that not all the assignments will reach all of the stages of the SAMR model. Just to quickly show you again, just because you can dive into technology does not mean you have to use them in this particular order. You can jump right into modification. You can work your way back, or you can work your way forward and dive right into redefinition. My second example, example 2, jumps directly into modification. I'm going to scoot over to science because I get to teach so many different classes throughout the day. I wanted to show how I could use this in other classes as well. It says 5th grade, what we're doing is we're using the Scott Forsman science book. And again, I put in the standard, and I'm going to quickly kind of show you what I was using this for this year. I actually got to use this example this year at the end of the year, and I did receive wonderful feedback from students, parents, and faculty. The lesson that I taught students learn in Chapter 10, how to protect Earth's resources. They study fossil fuels, solar, wind, hydroelectric, nuclear, geothermal, and biomass energies. And then after studying these in class, I give them the opportunity to select one and just create a Google slide presentation of their choice with very basic, very general criteria. They had 4 things that I had them choose, and then they were allowed to really create and design on their own. But I threw in advantages, disadvantages, renewable and non-renewable, and then kind of gave them some direction, but then let them go with it. In this example, students, in the redefinition part of it, it says students created their own presentation of their topics. They added videos, which they really enjoyed adding videos that went along with their projects. They created and designed their projects on Google Slides, knowing that they could edit and share with partners. And then they had the opportunity to share online. And what was really neat is they even had the opportunity to share with our Friday. We have a school video team that shows videos on Friday. And this task definitely was inconceivable without the use of technology. But they were able to share what they created with the school, which once they were given the audience, they really just showed how hard they could actually, and what they wanted to do and what they wanted to show. My last and third final example definitely jumped right into redefinition, which this is an experience that we had this year that I really thought the students enjoyed. It says, teaching at a smaller private school, where I teach, the differentiation in culture doesn't really exist in my suburb school. We have a National Lutheran Schools Week in which we celebrate being a Lutheran school, but our student body decided that we were going to Skype with an inner city Lutheran school in Illinois. The students came up with questions that they wanted to ask before the Skype interview, and their students also had questions for us. But beyond these silly student questions, it turned out to be an amazing redefining experience for our students and theirs as well. This opportunity to learn from another culture and meeting them face to face over the computer using Skype would have never been possible without the use of technology. This project was totally student-centered learning, challenging, collaborative, and technology-driven. And again, just inconceivable without the use of technology. Going through the SAMR model, I really like this photo that I'm going to put up at the end. And this photo definitely kind of shows the application of the whole SAMR model itself. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed. I hope the SAMR model is something that you can use, and I'm really happy to be able to discuss and really happy to be able to use it in my classroom. Thank you.